Gonna make the best of it, aren't you, son? But I couldn't be sure. Fernley has the kind of country accent that is almost impossible to understand, even for Irish people. I took the sandwich, and I had a bite. I had never eaten a tuna sandwich before, and the smell was intriguing. "Thank you, sir," I said, as my face went flush, and tears welled up in my eyes. "Soran, let us toast out," he mumbled, tussling my hair and very likely saying, "It's all right, son. Let it all out." But I wasn't crying despite my sorry state. Tuna had just been added to the list of things to which I am very allergic. If you have food allergies like me, you'll know the best thing to do in this circumstance is to make yourself throw up, which I did. There was a brief pause. Farnley didn't make a fuss. He didn't judge. The kindness never left his eyes. "Idris Elba, Idris Elba," said Farnley, handing me his handkerchief. I'm fairly certain that this was actually him saying, "Clean yourself up, clean yourself up." Then he gave me €2 for the Phantom machine, because he is the type of everyday hero who does things like this. Now, 2 years later, it was 4:30 in the morning, and my mobile phone was vrrrring. The view out of my window in my shared flat looks directly onto Galway Bay. The sun wouldn't be up for almost 4 more hours. Between the waves crashing on the seawall and the snow driving sideways, Galway did not look like a planet I would want to visit without a spacesuit. I had been asleep for approximately 3 hours. I looked to the mirror expecting to present a sad state, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that I looked so very handsome. This was because I was not yet wearing my glasses. I put them on and saw that I was still, in fact, regular Ronan Boyle, the near-sighted, gangly person that I was the night before, but somehow even worse, as I'd only slept for approximately 3 hours. The voice on the opposite end of my phone kicked me out of my slumber. It was a mysterious Garda, the Irish word for police, officer named Pat Finch, whose ghoulish face is so crisscrossed with bright red veins that it looks like a map of hell drawn by a monk in a medieval lunatic asylum. Pat Finch looks like what a heart attack would look like if it could walk around eating fish and chips and saying terrible things about Roscommon Football Club's starting lineup. But underneath all of that on the outside, Pat Finch is really just a nasty person. Pat Finch was not someone you wanted on the other end of your phone at any time of day. But here he was, or rather in my brain it seemed, because he was yelling so very loudly. "Is this Boyle with the Galway Garda?" he bellowed. "Aye," I replied. "But there are 2 Boyles in the Galway office, sir. I suspect you must want the other one, Connor. He's the ranking sergeant. I'm the younger one, Ronan, intern in the evidence department." "Are you the little skinny one?" he asked. I wasn't sure how to respond to this. By all accounts, I'm fairly thin. Not from a strict regimen, but as a byproduct of my many severe allergies and being a terrible cook. "Yes, I suppose," I said. "Then get your skinny behind out here to Clifton, you idiot!" And with a wet snort that sounded like a boar with a mouthful of macaroni, he hung up. Clifton, I thought to myself, as I was the only person there to think anything. Dolores, my flatmate, was nowhere to be seen. Dolores is my legal guardian, and has been ever since the scandal 2 years ago. She is a professional busker in Galway and one of the most beautiful fiddle players you will ever meet. She's also very popular, which means I'm almost always on my own without a legal guardian. This is fine by me, as Dolores is an absolute delight, but not great with domestic things and positively terrible with kids. There was a bit of trouble getting myself immediately to Clifton because I can't drive, I have no car, and I did not know what Clifton was. It's not a town as I had thought. Clifton is a castle out on the coast in Connemara. It was almost 2 hours before I got there via the 9:23 coach, bus. By then the blizzard had dissipated into rain, as Ireland is a temperate zone and it hardly ever snows. Later, I would mark this trip to Clifton Castle as the day that changed my life forever. The events of the next few hours were so confusing that I managed to forget that today, the 6th of December, was also my 15th birthday. When I arrived, there were several Garda vehicles on site and a sleek military jeep that I almost couldn't see except for its tires. The body was covered in a green camouflage that blended perfectly with the field beyond it. The jeep's license plate was a bit spooky, black and gold, bearing just the image of a harp and the number